Hi everyone, welcome and thanks for watching this video on the use case of Graphman configuration as code. I'm Pamela Deason, Marketing Manager for Layer 7 API Security here at Broadcom. And today the use case is going to be presented by Greg Thompson. Thank you, Greg, for joining us today.
Thanks, Pam. I'm a product manager for the Layer 7 API security solution. And as Pam mentioned, we'll be talking about the Layer 7 Graphman and configuration as code, which are a set of capabilities that really help with automation and management of your Layer 7 API gateways. Let's get started.
Why are we talking about Graphman and configuration as code? This is going to greatly help with the automation around gateway management. It's going to allow you to use centralized sources of truth, such as GitHub, and you'll enable the management of multiple distributed environments. What are some of the historical challenges? Historically, managing the gateway required a lot of manual updating of rules across different environments. This is very error-prone and also very time-consuming. It was difficult to track changes, and especially if changes were done across multiple environments by multiple people. The legacy API to manage the gateway was called RESTman, and while used quite effectively, it was limited in its abilities, it was quite slow to respond, and the export configuration formats were in XML, making it very difficult to read and understand. So what is Graphman? Graphman is a modern API based on GraphQL. It allows you to basically represent your API security as code, and because it's GraphQL, it's also JSON-based, making it much easier to read and work with. There's also a Graphman client that's provided. It's an NPM package, making it, again, much easier and much faster to work with gateway configuration. Let's take a look at this in action. After downloading the Graphman client, the first thing you would do is edit the Graphman configuration file. And now you'll see that we have our source gateway defined as the default gateway and our target gateway defined as gateway 1, which is shown at the bottom of the screen. The first method we'll show is exporting all the policies and configurations from the source gateway into a JSON file. To do this, we'll run the Graphman sh export using all command, which will export the entire contents of the gateway. Next, we'll use the explode option of the Graphman client to break this down into a folder structure, which will separate all the various entities from that gateway into individual files. In this case, we're going to be looking specifically for a Vault API and a Vault URL cluster-wide property. We can actually remove the contents of the exploded view so that we're targeting only the Vault API policies and the Vault URL cluster-wide property. Now that we have the directory all cleaned up, we can use the Graphman client implode option to combine the remaining files into a bundle, which can now be imported into the target gateway. To import that into the target gateway, we're going to run the Graphman client import option and specify the bundle. We can now go to Policy Manager and validate that the import was successful, and we can now see the new policy for the Vault API. We can also go to the cluster-wide properties and validate that the Vault cluster-wide property is also now in place. The second method is to export a specific folder and all of its dependencies. Just like before, we'll explode the exported JSON into the folder and remove anything that we're not interested in migrating. We'll now use the Graphman implode command to take the remaining files and package them back into a bundle that can be imported into the target gateway. To import that into the target gateway, we're going to run the Graphman client import option and specify the bundle. And just as before, we can go into Policy Manager and we can validate that the import was successful. And we can also see that the cluster-wide property is in place.
That was a lot of great information, Greg. Thank you for presenting, and I'm sure all of our viewers appreciate you taking the time to do this. And thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to look for additional videos on Layer 7 API security use cases that will be coming soon. Bye for now.